Hello there, this is the Sophos Certified Delta Training Course for XG Firewall from version 17.1 to 17.5. This 40-minute Delta course will cover the changes between XG Firewall version 17.1 and version 17.5 and is required to maintain your certification. Prior to taking this training, you should have completed and passed the Sophos XG Firewall Certified Engineer course and any subsequent Delta modules up to version 17.1. A glossary of technical terms used throughout the course can be found in Knowledge Base Article 118500. XG Firewall version 17.5 is packed full of new features and enhancements. Some examples of these powerful new features can be seen in Synchronized Security, which includes synchronized user identity and lateral movement protection, and version 17.5 also delivers our new IPsec client, Sophos Connect. There are many other smaller features and enhancements across the whole platform, including web block overrides, authentication agent improvements, additional email protection options, and updates to the log viewer. Synchronized Security has three big new features in version 17.5. Synchronized user identity that allows endpoints to share the logged-in user with the XG firewall through the security heartbeat. Lateral movement protection, which can protect computers on the same network segment from computers with a red health status. And firewall management in Sophos Central, which will be available in early 2019. Let's start with synchronized user identity. User authentication is critically important for all next-gen firewalls to provide user-based reporting and policy enforcement. In a typical Active Directory environment, transparent user identity at the firewall is achieved either by installing an agent on the directory server to relay user identity information to the firewall, or on the endpoint to share user identification. These agent solutions can be problematic to deploy in some situations and environments. With version 17.5, endpoints on an Active Directory domain can now share user identity with the firewall through the security heartbeat connection. This makes user identification seamless and easy without having to deploy agents on the domain controllers. This feature can be very helpful in many situations, but particularly where inline deployments of XG with other firewalls is desired. Note that this solution is not a replacement for SATC or Sophos authentication for thin clients, which provides a user identification agent for multi-user systems like terminal services hosts. SATC is still the best solution in these situations. This solution also doesn't support non-managed devices or servers. Here, you can see users that have been authenticated using synchronized user identity in the live users. Notice the client type is listed as Heartbeat. To start using Synchronized Security, you must have an Active Directory authentication server configured on the XG firewall. Synchronized user identity only works for computers that are part of an Active Directory domain. You should import the user groups from Active Directory into the XG firewall. The Active Directory server must be enabled in the firewall authentication methods. With this done, all Windows endpoints with a heartbeat to the XG firewall will be authenticated via their heartbeat. If you do not want to use Synchronized User ID, You can disable it by touching the File, Content, No User ID. To start using Synchronized User ID again, remove this file. When synchronized security was first introduced with XG Firewall as security heartbeat, settings in firewall rules allowed unhealthy endpoints with a red or yellow health status to be isolated from accessing other parts of the network or the internet. In this way, security heartbeat helps isolate infected endpoints to prevent a threat moving or spreading to other parts of the network or communicating out to the internet. In version 17.5, this feature is enhanced with the ability to isolate unhealthy endpoints even from other endpoints on the same broadcast domain or network segment. In many networks, several endpoints will often be connected through a switch to the firewall and have unrestricted access to each other on this network segment without any firewall control. This made it impossible for the firewall to intervene and block threats from moving laterally through the switch. With lateral movement protection, all healthy endpoints are automatically told to ignore any traffic coming from an unhealthy endpoint, effectively isolating them completely until they can be cleaned up. Once cleaned up, its security heartbeat status will return to green and connectivity with other systems on the network will be automatically restored. When an endpoint has a red health status, the XG Firewall shares this with all of the other endpoints it has a heartbeat with, so they know to ignore traffic from that endpoint. As we mentioned, this means that even computers on the same network segment can be protected. In this diagram, you can see the computers on the first floor are connected via a switch, and are protected from the computer with the red health status, as they can see its MAC address. However, in this example, the computers on the second floor are connected via routers, and because routers modify the MAC address in the Layer 2 packet header, the endpoints cannot see the original MAC address of the traffic from the endpoint with a red health status on the first floor. As they cannot see the original MAC address, they will not drop the traffic and are not protected. To remedy this, the traffic would need to be routed through the XG Firewall with firewall rules that prevent the traffic from the endpoint with a red health status crossing network segments. Previously, a red heartbeat was triggered by a malicious traffic detection, attempts to call home, the ATP engine, or the endpoint identifying a threat. Now, in version 17.5, IPS detections from compromised endpoints trying to exploit a vulnerability can also trigger a red heartbeat condition and lateral movement protection as well, further enhancing protection from threats on the network. Lateral movement protection is enabled and configured in Sophos Central in global settings, reject network connections. Here you can enable lateral movement protection status red status or remediation. Let's have a quick look at lateral movement protection in action.
Here we have 4 computers, all with a green health status. Let's connect to one of these computers. If we open this shortcut to a share on another computer, we can see it opens with no problems. We've disabled tamper protection for this computer, so we will run this script to stop some of the Sophos services. You can see these stopped services being reported. If we switch back to the XG Firewall, we can see that one of the computers is now reporting as a red health status. Let's connect to that computer again. If we open the share again, we're not able to because the other computer is discarding all traffic from this computer. If we start the Sophos services again, our health status will return to green and we can access the share again.
From early 2019, you will be able to manage XG firewalls directly from within Sophos Central, which means you will have access to the whole synchronized security portfolio in a single location. Management in Central brings several features and benefits. You can manage the firewalls from anywhere without having to enable HTTPS access to the web admin in the WAN zone. Central displays the actual interface of the XG firewall you are managing, so no synchronization of configuration is required. XG firewall alerts will appear on the main Sophos Central dashboard, including connectivity alerts for interfaces and VPN, resource utilization, licensing notifications, and security events. You can manage firmware updates for XG Firewall from within Sophos Central, enabling an easy one-click update to the latest firmware. You have the option to store regularly scheduled backup files in Central automatically for safekeeping, along with easy and convenient access to your historic backup files should they be required. And light touch deployment enables even a non-technical person to connect and configure a remote XG firewall and get it connected into Sophos Central. Let's look at how all of this works with a simulation. This simulation will show how to add and access an XG firewall in Sophos Central. Review the information at each stage and then follow the instructions to advance to the next step. Light touch deployment enables even a non-technical person to connect and configure a remote XG firewall and get it connected into Sophos Central. An administrator can add the new firewall in Central and step through the initial setup wizard before the XG device is installed. They can then download the configuration or email it to another location so it can be copied to a USB stick. The stick is then plugged into the XG firewall device when it is first fired up, setting its initial configuration, after which it can be fully managed from Sophos Central. For power users, the config file can be edited and customized further. Synchronized Security has 3G Firewall version 17.5 delivers the new Sophos Connect IPsec client and improved intrusion prevention, as well as several smaller enhancements that improve the management of gateways, IPsec site-to-sites, and firewall rules. In the WAN Gateway Manager, configuration for backup gateways, you can select the action that is taken when the active gateway is restored and the XG firewall fails back to using it. You can choose between serving new connections through the restored gateway, this is the default option, or serving all connections through the restored gateway, which will cause disruptions to established network connections. Over time, we have been enhancing protection and performance of the IPS engine by adding the Talos Commercial IPS Signature Library from Cisco. We augment the Talos library with additional signatures as required to ensure optimal intrusion protection. The Talos library includes more granular categories, and in 17.5 we are making those available in the IPS policy tool, making it easier to build more granular IPS policies. As you can see here, you can get very specific with category selection, such as which particular browser you want to select IPS patterns for. All of the new categories have been carefully mapped to previous categories, but admins are encouraged to use this as an opportunity to double-check your IPS policies and ensure they are optimized under the new category structure. For those wondering, Talos is a highly respected network security analysis group working around the clock to respond to the latest trends in hacking, intrusions, and malware, just like our own Sophos Labs. So this is a great partnership that bolsters our IPS protection and also provides more granular IPS policy controls. Alongside the release of XG Firewall version 17.5, the new Sophos Connect IPsec VPN client will be entering early access. Sophos Connect will be freely available to XG Firewall customers for both Windows and Mac, and supports core functionality including one-time passwords and split tunneling, as well as the Sophos Security Heartbeat. You can enable Sophos Connect on the new dedicated tab in the VPN section, where you can configure a single connection profile and grant access to selected users. The VPN can be authenticated using a pre-shared key or digital certificates. You need to configure the IP range that will be used for clients that connect, and optionally, you can also assign DNS servers. The Sophos Connect client and admin installers are also downloaded from this page, and the connection configuration can be exported using the button at the bottom. Let's take a look at the Sophos Connect client in action.
Here is a computer that currently has no connectivity to the head office. Let's start by installing the Sophos Connect client. Now it is installed, we can open it by clicking on the system tray icon. We will import the connection file and then click Connect. Log in with our username and password and we can see the connection status. We can now access resources in the head office.
In addition to the Sophos Connect client, there is a Sophos Connect admin application that can be installed. This can be used to open and edit the connection configuration file to configure more advanced settings. By default, Sophos Connect will tunnel all traffic over the VPN. This can be reconfigured to perform split tunneling for selected networks. In addition to this, you can enable options such as prompting for one-time passwords. Sophos Connect Admin allows editing of Sophos TGB or SCX files for use in Sophos Connect VPN client. In IPsec VPN failover groups, you can now optionally choose to fail back to the original VPN connection when it can be restored, rather than having to manually manage the process. Firewall rule groups now include an option to create matching criteria that will be used to automatically assign new rules to that group. You can see an example here, where the matching criteria is set to any internal destination zone. So any rule created that matches this criteria, like a LAN to DMZ type rule, will automatically be assigned to this group. Remember, firewall rule groups are added and edited from the firewall page. After you set up your groups and the matching criteria, you can then select a group when creating a rule from this new drop-down list. The default option is automatic, which will try to assign the rule to a group automatically based on the matching criteria. Web policy overrides allow authorized users to override blocked sites on user devices, temporarily allowing access. Administrators define which users, for example, this could be teachers in an educational setting, have the option to authorize policy overrides. Can then create their own override codes, like simple passwords, in the XG Firewall user portal, and define rules about which sites they can be used for. Administrators can see a full list of all override codes created and disable or delete them. as well as defining sites or categories that can never be overridden. There is also a new report providing full historical insight into web override use. Override code rules can be broad, allowing any traffic or whole categories, or more narrow, allowing only individual sites or domains, and can also be limited by time and day. To avoid abuse, codes can easily be changed or canceled. Codes can be shared with end users who enter them directly into the block page to allow access to a blocked site. Web policies have been expanded to include several settings that were previously global configuration options. Search engine enforcement, including safe search and YouTube restrictions, along with download file size limits and Google app domain restrictions, are all set on a per policy basis now, providing much greater flexibility in how these controls are applied. Wireless protection can now be configured with 2 Radius servers for authentication, a primary server and a secondary server, allowing for redundancy. The XG Firewall client authentication agent is a very popular authentication method, especially with our customers that have migrated from CyberRoam, and in 17.5 it gets a number of important enhancements. Click each of the buttons on the left to find out more. Chromebooks are increasingly popular in education and some corporate environments, but they create a unique set of challenges for user identification with network firewalls. XG Firewall version 17.5 provides a Chromebook extension that shares Chromebook user IDs with the firewall to enable full user-based policy enforcement and reporting. Prerequisites include an on-premise Active Directory server synced to Google G Suite. The Chrome extension is pushed from the G Suite admin console, providing easy and seamless deployment that is transparent to users. Chromebook SSO must be enabled in Configure Authentication Services by providing your domain that is registered with G Suite and certificate used to communicate with the Chromebooks, where the common name matches the network where the Chromebook users are. To configure the Chromebook app in G Suite, you need to navigate to App Management, then search for and open the Sophos Chromebook User ID app. Here, you will need to upload the configuration as a JSON file that includes server address, port, and log settings. You can find a sample JSON in the course notes. If the XG Firewall is using a self-signed certificate, you will also need to upload the CA certificate in Device Management Networks, selecting the option Use this certificate as an HTTPS certificate authority. A couple of things to remember. You will need to enable the Chromebook SSO service in device access for the zones where the devices are located. You will also need to create a firewall rule that allows the Chromebooks to access the Google API and Chrome Web Store. There are 2 new features in SMTP email policies, the first of which is that the XG Firewall can now optionally reject emails based on SPF. SPF is the Sender Policy Framework, which allows receiving mail servers to validate that the email address has been sent from an authorized IP address using records published in the DNS for that sender's domain. The second new feature in email protection allows the XG Firewall to validate the recipient email address in Active Directory. To configure this, select a configured Active Directory authentication server and provide a bind DN, the user to connect to the directory as, and a base DN, the area of the directory to try and match the email address in. The upgrade to XG Firewall 17.5 will change the MTA to XM. This will be completely transparent in the web admin, but will result in new log files being available via the command line. The new log files are error, main, panic, and reject, all prefixed with SMTPD underscore. These log files contain the standard XM logging, which improves on what was previously available. Note that the logging available through the log viewer will remain unchanged, as it is data that has been parsed from the logs. XG Firewall 17.5 Maintenance Release 1, which will be released early in 2019, will include support for the latest APX series wireless access points that support the 802.11 AC Wave 2 standard. The 802.11 AC Wave 2 standard is the second iteration of the 802.11 AC standard that can reach gigabit speeds, even if real-world throughput turns out to be only 50% of the theoretical rate. Wave 2 offers a higher throughput than Wave 1 and supports a higher number of connected devices. For information about wireless technology, see our separate Wireless Cybersecurity Fundamentals course. This is a great opportunity for XG Firewall customers to refresh their wireless access points to the latest technology that delivers up to twice the connectivity speed, greater capacity in high-density environments, and optimized performance. There's 3 compelling new models to choose from: the APX 740, 530, and 320, which all include state-of-the-art 802.11 AC Wave 2 wireless performance. Note that APX will not be certified in all regions at launch. In addition to selecting the certificate that is used by the XG Firewall for user-facing pages, you can now also configure what hostname or IP address is used when redirecting users to internal portal pages. The combination of controls for the certificate and hostname allows you to ensure that users do not see a certificate error in their browser. Note that when you check the settings, this does not include any subject alternate names included in the certificate, and the hostname should resolve to an IP address on an internal interface. There have been a few enhancements made to the log viewer in this release. First, both the filter and module drop-down menus are now sorted alphabetically, making it quicker to find and select the option you want. You can now customize the columns that are displayed when you are in the column view. You can select up to 20 columns, with time, log component, and action being mandatory. The columns that are available are context sensitive and will depend on the module that is selected. Finally, the consolidated log view now includes links for firewall rules and policies that, when clicked, will automatically update the parent window to that location, making it quicker and easier to review the relevant configuration for a log entry. With XG Firewall version 17.5 comes improved documentation. The enhanced online help now centers around the user's current task and needs, and suggests context-specific actions, related information, and links to relevant knowledge base articles. Now that you have completed this course, you should be able to Enable and configure synchronized user identity and lateral movement protection. Deploy the new Sophos Connect IPsec client and make use of the gateway and IPsec failback options. Configure block overrides and safe search in web protection. Use new authentication agent features and enable SSO for Chromebook devices. Enable SPF and Active Directory recipient verification, and configure the hostname for user-facing links and use the new log viewer features. Feedback on our courses is always welcome. Please email us at globaltraining@sophos.com with your comments. Now that you have completed this course, you should complete the assessment in the training portal. You will have 1 hour to complete the assessment from when you launch it, and you have 4 attempts to pass the assessment.